Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Giangelo's here on 224 in Boardman. It is the South Range Raiders show. We are joined, what a pleasure, by the South Range girls soccer coach, Nita Carolyne. Give it up for her.
Thank you.
Coach, we talked before, you have worked your way up from the youth of South Range all the way up to varsity now. What has that climb been like?
I would say it was a slow and steady climb, but it was also necessary because it was very rewarding in the end because I built up not only a rapport with the kids, but with the parents. So it was almost a trusted earned factor, slowly but surely. And I honestly don't think I would ever have done it any other way.
Really?
Because of the relationships and the dynamics that I built up with the community itself. So to me, that was more rewarding in the end, and it taught me patience, and it made me a better coach.
And that's a situation where you are kind of the people's champion, moving up with them.
Yes.
You're familiar, and you can strengthen those bonds and strengthen your team along the way.
Yes.
And your expectations are kind of growing together. So
right.
For you, what are some of the challenges that you foresee? I mean, I know that you've seen this for a long time. Obviously, you know the kids that you have. What are the challenges you see coming into the 25-year?
I would say the challenges are picking up the level of intensity that I'm actually currently tackling right now. And what we're working on is level of intensity during practice.
Okay.
Because I felt that was somewhat of a weak spot. So then when we would come game day, the intensity wasn't there, or the mental click for them to turn it up, we weren't able to get them there. Where now, I told the girls, I love you, but we're gonna condition in between drills. Yeah. And if you're not bringing me intensity, then we're gonna start doing, runs. And when I would even tell them, and we can laugh about it now, and I love that they respect that I have this relationship with them, but I'll make them run and I'll tell them, on your way back, become another person. Yeah. And they click right back, and the girls say, yeah, we see it, And they actually confirmed that to me this past week, how they appreciated that intense form of coaching, that military style.
Yeah.
And that's definitely like the way I love to coach, but that is the most responsive that I get from them as well.
Really?
Absolutely, because you're not only targeting the girls that are good and they're at a little bit more higher caliber, but you're also starting to target and push that grit with the kids that are playing this sport to try and to get them to believe in themselves. Yep. And that's what's most important, is we're confidence building. And when I feel like when we put intensity and I just ask them to give me, good speed at least, believe it or not, they start performing.
Wow. All right. So you talked about the military style that you like to use, but you don't have to use it. Where do you get that leadership style from?
Oh, I actually go way back. My mom she was a bodybuilder for Miss Youngstown.
Okay.
And she got Miss Youngstown in 1981. So, and then she was an instructor at like 21st Point and all of the, gyms, and she was a conditioning coach for Mooney. Okay. So she was their football conditioning coach. So like literally as soon as I started walking, she literally had her kids next to her, and she would tell those football guys in conditioning when they were doing doubles, if my daughter out push-ups you're running, and the guys would get all fired up, and I was literally, working, and that ended up being my drive of style. Yeah. And my mom did become an inspiration to me, and, pushed me to a level when I was younger too, and to also build my confidence with being in the forefronts as well. So she really put some pressure on me, but it was all good. And she coached as well.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Yes.
For you, though, I mean, there's got to be a difference between the hammer and the high five. What are those moments where you're getting the high five and giving the high five? Those have got to be special for you. How do you know the difference between when you need to give one and not the other?
I would say, actually just yesterday we had a scrimmage.
Okay.
And perfect story is we are a building team. We are building literally from the foundation up, but I'm up for the task. I always am with something like this. And we were losing 3-0 in the scrimmage. We played East Liverpool. And, we did halftime. I dug in them in the locker room. And I know I talk a little bit intense, but the girls are receptive to that form of approach. And that second half, they came back and they earned all 3 of those goals back in the second half. So to me, I told the girls, that's a win to me because we didn't fall short, and not only that, we recovered the goals. So to me, I definitely bring that out and just tell the girls I appreciate that effort and also how reactive they are with that just halftime, just nip in the butt.
What's the club look like this year? You said they're going to be young. Talk to me about what they look like and your expectations.
So my expectations, one is definitely intensity because we are practicing that way and it's necessary. Yeah. And I feel that us being a growing team already, last year was it was a lot stagnant because we had girls graduating up and not much coming in. We had at the time that's a sophomore, we had one that came in and then it was at a steady pace. This is the year that we actually had some competitive girls come up that are my freshmen, and it's really kicking up the dynamics, and I like it because you know what it's doing? It's making the other girls hungry. Yep. It's making them hungry to perform and to play because, yes, and we needed that. And we needed that along with my type of coaching. So just to let them know, let's not get complacent, right?
So who are you leaning on? Who are the ones that you're going to look to and say, either, hey, this is the first time I'm coaching you, or you've been with me for a long time, I need you now?
Oh, gosh. A lot of these girls have been with me for so long. I would say, my center back is Katie Dance, and Katie Dance is a senior, and she pretty much, I look to her to hold the line for me. And she has been on that back line for a few years now. And I had Katie Dance when she was little. Mm-hmm. And she would go back and forth in some sports. And I remember when she broke off, I just told her, don't forget about me, And it ended up that she ended up circling herself back. And I was very grateful for that because we left right off where she was. Very coachable, great athlete, very aggressive. That's why she's in my back line. And then my second one that I really depend on is just as honorable, and that's my goalie. And my goalie is a junior now, and I've been working with her since she's been young as well. And she takes a beating back there. And, she's got a lot of grit. She's tough. Last year, she had 300 saves on goal. Wow. That's not typical for your normal shots on any goalie. They usually get breaks, but Lila Angus never did. Yeah. And I got to give it to her because, like I said, she takes a beating back there, and I always remind the whole entire team that, she's just as much a part of the field because she's taking it in as well.
It's your last form of defense for a goal,
right? It
It
is. And I put heat on that defense because I said, you let that go. It's going straight on Lila. Yeah. And you got it, So I tell them and they know. They do really well. And my main theme this year is how can we get any of these girls that are a little bit segregated, how can we interconnect the chains of that? And they also brought up to me that they really see the inner dynamics starting to change and shift, and that's like what I really love.
Let's talk about, it's hard to talk about now because it's the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
What do you want to know about your team when it's all said and done, when the final whistle blows on the 2025 season? Excuse me, there's a bug in my eye. What do you want people to know about this team?
About this year?
This year team, yep.
I want them to know that we're coming back and we're building back up. And another thing that I was very humbled about is I did have some parents that texted me last night that did acknowledge the fact that they seen a shift in the actual team and the dynamics. So any of the teams that saw us the last couple of years, we did have some fallbacks because there was some seniors that left.
Yep.
But it's time that they're going to actually start seeing like a growing foundation.
Incredible. Coach Carolyne, I can't thank you enough for stopping by.
Yes.
You're welcome anytime. Thank you so much. Ladies
Thank
and gentlemen,
you.
give it up, Coach Carolyne,
Thank
girls
you.
soccer.